Hi, Dave Roscoe here. It is Friday, June 20th, 2025, and I just want to give you a reminder that I will not be putting out any updates over the weekend. I'll be taking the weekends off for the foreseeable future, but I will be back on Monday, and if anything breaks in the meantime, I'll be sure to let everybody know, whether that's in the form of a video or a post on X or a post on my YouTube channel. I'm always looking, but I want to take a break from having to put together a formal update. So that's what's going to happen there. There's a new blog post from the PiCore team talking about the first 100 days of mainnet, and we'll talk about that a little bit as well. But first, the metrics. The circulating supply is 7.48 billion pi, and there were 64,927 user accounts migrated yesterday, totaling 19.4 million pi. This is a single day record for Pi network migrations since Open Mainnet. The previous record was something like 54,000 user accounts. So that's good. I mean, we had several days where there weren't any, so they're kind of playing catch up right now, but I'm encouraged. And I checked this morning and migrations were still happening. So, the cadence of migrations overall has picked up, but it still needs to pick up a lot more. And I'll explain why in a little bit. The migrated unlocked rewards is at 2.25 billion pi, with 11.9 million pi unlocked in the last 24 hours and now free to be traded on the open markets. Looking at the price action, the Pi coin is currently trading at 55 cents, which is up 3.22% from this time yesterday. The market cap is at $4.14 billion, which is up 3.58%. The daily trading volume is at $62.8 million, which is down 20.9%. So trading volume keeps going down, although the overall price trend is upward, as you can see from these candles here. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, but based on this, I suspect it will continue to go up throughout the course of the day. I don't know by how much, but it seems to have a positive momentum. Now, with volume this low, it's got the potential of making a big move. And again, that can go either way. But with a currently upward trend of price action with low volatility, who knows? Maybe we can see a significant breakout in the next 24 hours. But it's not trading advice. It's just what I'm seeing. So this is the latest blog post from the PiCore team. And it talks about the fact that they are now a little over 100 days post open mainnet. And they decided to put out this blog post to talk about the achievements that they've made in that time. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I will go over some of the key points. So they talk about the Pi Network Ventures, which is investing $100 million in startups. And that's a good thing. A lot of people were mad about that because they didn't think the PiCore team should be investing to build the ecosystem when people's migrations were being held up and KYC problems persisted and all of that. But Pi Network has to keep moving forward. These problems that are happening already exist, and they can't wait to fix them to move forward. And people need to realize that. But this was a good thing. And of course, people were wondering where this money was coming from. But if you read the tokenomics, there is a pool of Pi that was allocated right from the start for this very purpose. And it shouldn't be any surprise. They also made a statement talking about how gaming is a key vertical for the Pi network. And I agree. I've always felt that gaming was a perfect fit for the Pi network, at least, as a rounded out portfolio of what their utility is comprised of. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Most games, offer in-app purchases where you can buy time or power-ups or anything like that. And to do that, you need to have an in-app economy. And one way to do that, is to incorporate crypto. And some games have now started to do that. And there's a rumor that the Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to incorporate a real world in-game economy using crypto. The details on that are a little vague right now. We don't really know what that's going to look like, but there's a little bit of a hint that it might be Pi. Wouldn't that be cool? Now they talk about PiFest and the expansion of local commerce. This one I think is a little iffy. I didn't really see PiFest as a big success. The numbers look good, but when you talk about the results, there were a lot of people complaining about the pressure to accept the global consensus value, or GCV. And that's a continuing problem. You have a very loud and minor group of people who are pushing merchants to sell products at the GCV price. And that's just ridiculous. It's not going to happen. That has started to push merchants away from the Pi network, which is not what we want. As the sooner people realize that it's the market that controls the value of Pi, the faster commercial adoption will happen. And now they're trying to salvage the concept of GCV with this notion of dual value, where in the real world, Pi can have one value, but in the ecosystem, it could have the GCV value. And that's just ridiculous. As soon as you have something that touches the real world, that requires real fiat currency in order to get it done, GCV falls apart. And I don't understand how people don't realize this. But anyway, I don't want to get too hung up on that. But so the PiFest announcement to me wasn't all that compelling. Pi domains auction. Yeah, I think this is good. I mean, obviously businesses who want to do commerce on the Pi ecosystem should have Pi domains, because that is the way you're going to participate within the Web3 ecosystem. I don't see this as anything but good. Now, there were some issues with the bidding process and all that, and the fact that it's not available to everybody, but it is what it is. It is available for millions of people, and that's got to be good enough. I have a couple of bids on some domains. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but obviously the next step is to actually build things on these domains. But still, it's a positive step. Ecosystem interface updates. They've improved the interface. They rolled out the Pi network ad network application. So that's good. I mean, fact of life, apps have ads, and why should Pi network miss out on that revenue stream? And then, of course, new apps to join the ecosystem. And then we have network metrics. And this is funny because I recently wrote a script that went through every account that was created on the Pi Foundation 2 wallet, which is basically every user account. And I know that the goal for going open mainnet was 10 million migrated users, and we hit that goal. So I wanted to see where we were since open mainnet, and I came up with about 13.4 million people migrated. And interestingly enough, I get confirmation here. Over 3 million additional pioneers were migrated since open network. I got that one right. Over 7.4 billion Pi has been migrated, 5.2 billion Pi locked, and 2.2 billion Pi unlocked. Over 400,000 nodes are active across the blockchain. Testnet, Testnet 2, and mainnet. Well, there are no user nodes on mainnet as far as I know. So most of that 400,000 is locked up on Testnet and Testnet 2, which isn't really doing much for anybody except for the node runners who get a sweet bonus like me. Account security. They rolled out the ability to change your phone number, but that's only for fully KYC approved individuals. Which is kind of weird because some of the reasons why you can't get KYC'd is because your phone number is not right or it changed in the process. So this is kind of iffy in my opinion. Two-factor authentication for Pi migration. This one is a good one. It should have been obvious from day one that it was needed, and it has a very limited use. It doesn't protect people, for example, who had their passphrases compromised. Shifting to email-based 2FA. Yep, absolutely. That was part of the two-factor authentication rollout. I'm not sure why they decided to split that up, but it basically is a positive affirmation that email will be the method for two-factor authentication as opposed to phones, which have proven to be expensive and unreliable. The expansion, they rolled out the ability to activate wallets. And this has been both a blessing and a curse. Being able to activate wallets is great because if you don't want to participate in the Pi app, you can still create a wallet and activate it and participate in the ecosystem by funding your wallet with Pi. But this has caused problems with other areas. For example, a lot of people were under the mistaken belief that creating another wallet and activating it, or activating their existing wallet manually, would somehow improve the timeline for their migration. And this is causing problems because what happens is they manually activate their wallet with no Pi in it. It funds the wallet to create the account, but that balance is not available to you. It's locked up. You can't do anything with it. So yes, you have a wallet. Then you get migrated. Because your wallet's already activated, the migration does not fund your wallet with any usable Pi. So now you have a lockup. The lockup expires and you need to pay 0.01 Pi to move your lockup into your available balance. And you can't do it because you have insufficient funds. And now you have to borrow funds or buy Pi from somewhere else in order to unlock your Pi. So it's caused a lot of problems. People don't realize it. And then the new account recovery option. I don't really know too much about this, but my guess is like if you forget your password, you can use your email and get the ability to reset it and get access back to your account. And then KYC updates. Pi Network also resolved various issues that may have blocked some pioneers from progressing through KYC. These included identification and remediation of small bugs with the process, updates to permit Yoti users to fully complete the process, and addressing issues relating to missing data. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen any updates that have positively affected my situation, but I'm not going to rule out that some people have seen progress. Well, that's all I've got for today. Obviously, if anything breaks, I'll be sure to hop on here and let you know. And we got, we have 8 days to Pi 2 Day, and I still haven't heard any rumors at all about what might be coming, but we'll have to just wait and see. So don't panic, stay the course, and remember, the success of the Pi Network begins with you. Pi to the moon. Peace.